everybody. It's Chrissy's known online as Wootini here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I want to start with a quick movie review. I went to see Megan, which, you know, everybody's been all a buzz about, and everybody's talking about all the memes and everything. And there was no way it was ever going to live up to that hype, so it did not. So I was kind of disappointed by it, honestly. It's not as funny as I thought it was going to be or should have been. And it's not really scary or thrilling at all. It's very much a comedy. So, but it's not as funny as it should have been, really. So it has moments, and they're very funny, and I'm like, okay, but they're spread out very thinly across a kind of not very engaging movie. I just had no momentum, you know. So that was disappointing. I do feel like perhaps going for the PG-13 rating might have hurt it, because I feel like if they had been able to do like some crazy over-the-top gore and violence, it might have made it more interesting and fun to watch, but I don't know. I have heard that there is an unrated version, so maybe that would be a little better. I don't know. But suffice it to say, I was like, meh. It's fine. And while it's probably best seen in a theater full of other like-minded people laughing along with it, and you could probably just wait a few months, and it's Universal, so it'll show up on Peacock, and you could just watch it there and stream it at home, and it'd be fine. Yeah, your call. Then I wanted to talk about the new toy that I just recently got for myself. Early birthday present? I don't know. I just wanted it. As you know, those of you who've watched this video podcast for a time, you know that I love my 3D and my 3D movies, and I love to see movies in 3D. So I had a 3D TV. Unfortunately, like over the past year or so, it has started to glitch, and the picture has gotten worse and worse, and it eventually became pretty much unwatchable. For a while, I was able to just kind of ignore the line and whatever, but eventually it just became like, no, I can't comfortably watch 3D movies on here. It's annoying. It doesn't look great. The picture jitters, and it's like, no. So then my only option for watching movies in 3D was on my PSVR. Unfortunately, the PSVR doesn't have the best resolution, and it's got that whole, you know, screen door window effect to the graphics that's not great. Plus, you're sitting there for anywhere from 2 to 2.5 to maybe even 3 hours, depending on the movie, with this headset on, melting your eyes with these TV screens right up in front of them. So that's not ideal, honestly. So I've been looking into projectors, but they're like really expensive, and it's not like I'm buying a new TV, you know, where I'm willing to spend some money to get something good. This is just, you know, to occasionally watch a 3D movie. I'm not trying to make a home theater setup with like this high-end projector. So I just needed something that I could set up and watch, you know, a quick 3D movie every once in a while. I found this projector on Best Buy, and it was $500, but then on the Rexing website, it was actually only $300. And I thought, well, for $300, let me go ahead and give it a try. And I ordered it, and it came sooner than I expected, unfortunately, because I had ordered it on a Sunday, and then said, well, I'll order the glasses. They don't sell glasses, so I had to order glasses because you need special active shutter glasses, not the passive ones that I had for my passive TV. So I was going to order glasses off Amazon. And I said, well, that's fine. Once I know when it's shipping and how long it's going to take to get to me, I can order the glasses. Unfortunately, the next day, on Monday evening, around 8 o'clock, I saw I had an email, and they're like, hey, it's shipped. Here's your UPS tracking number, and you'll get it tomorrow. And I was like, wait, your free shipping is next day? Like, who does that? So I went to Amazon, but unfortunately, the fastest I could get, because it was already nighttime, the fastest they could get me my glasses was Wednesday. So the projector arrived on Tuesday, and I was very excited, and I pulled it out, and I was like, yes, it's so cute, and it's tiny, and I set it up, and it looked really good on the wall, and you've got this nice stand to adjust it and everything. And unfortunately, in the projector is a user manual, and as I'm browsing the little interior user manual, I went to the section on 3D, and it said it does side-by-side and top and bottom. And I'm like, well, that doesn't help me. I want to watch Blu-rays. Ugh. This is what I was afraid of, because it's only $300. It's not going to be exactly what I needed, and I'm going to have to spend more money to get one that does that. So I sent them an email, and I'm like, hey, I want to be able to watch 3D Blu-rays. It says it doesn't do that. It says it does side-by-side and top bottom. Is there another projector that you sell that will show Blu-rays, or that I can exchange, or can I get my money back and return this to you? And they replied back the next day with like sort of broken English, and it said, the 3D projector can project it can project Blu-rays through the HDMI port. And I'm like, well, yes, but what about 3D Blu-rays? And they were like, please try it and let us know what is the result. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have the glasses, so I couldn't try it. I just assumed. So later that day, on Wednesday, the glasses arrived. So I set up the projector and put in a 3D Blu-ray, turned on the glasses, and when I put in the 3D Blu-ray, it came up on screen and it was split into top and bottom. And I thought, oh, well, if it's going to split the 3D Blu-ray into top and bottom, I can select top and bottom, and it'll merge the picture into a 3D image that I can then watch on my wall. It didn't work like that. I pressed top and bottom, it didn't do anything. But then when I pressed 3D, there was an option. In addition to the side-by-side and top and bottom, there was another option for 3D Blu-ray. And I said, oh, okay. And I pressed 3D Blu-ray, and bingo bango, it worked. So I was very excited. I tried a couple more discs just to confirm that I could get it to work with a bunch of different movies, which obviously it would, and it did. And I was delighted. And on Friday, I celebrated Friday the 13th by watching Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D on my bedroom wall. And while, it's not ideal, it's not as good as my TV, which was nice and crisp and clean and bright and whatever. Here, the picture is surprisingly crisp and solid, and, you close the curtains and watch it in the dark like a movie, and it looks good. And the picture is nice and crisp, and the 3D effect is good. And I'm super happy with it, and I'm stunned that it only cost me $300, not $1,000. Yay me! So I got lucky there. As for gaming, as expected, yes, I finished Mass Effect. Got all the way to the end. I think most of the side quests. There might have been a couple that I missed, because at the very end I went back to the Citadel for something, and suddenly they're like, you have to go back to the Citadel, and then then you go into the end game, but then all of a sudden I'm walking around the Citadel and there's all these other side quests and people are like, hey, and I'm like, oh, I guess I should have done these before, but I didn't, so let me do them now, then I'll go and do the end game. So I probably missed a couple, but I did all of whatever I could find, and I did the DLC, Bring Down the Sky, and then I finished the game. And I did manage to play it as much of a renegade as I could. So I did get the trophy for maxing, well, not maxing, because it didn't max out, because I did get a bunch of Paragon points, because, I kept saving people and stuff and doing the right thing, so I get Paragon points for that. But anytime I was interacting with people, I tried to be a douchebag and get my renegade points, and kill people. I let the hostages die just so I could get some renegade points. I felt bad about it, but it was easier. So, and it's funny, because, I had forgotten how good Mass Effect was. It's just a good game, no, they polished up the graphics some and put it in 4K and stuff, but the character models and animations aren't, now what you would get now, so it is obviously an older game, but the gameplay and the story are still, rock solid, and it's a lot of fun, except for the Mako, obviously. The Mako still controls like butt, and I'd love to know who in the design team said, okay, we're going to put you on the planet and you're going to drive around in this vehicle that doesn't really control very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to put mountains everywhere that you have to climb in this vehicle that won't climb everywhere, and it's going to fall over and be obnoxious. Who thought of that? And I want to smack them in the head. Hell, there was a bit at the end of the game where you're driving the Mako through the Prothean archives, and there's these little growths on the side of plants and stuff. And I bumped into one of those, and it totally flipped the Mako over on its head. And I was like, and I'm like, God damn it. And I was like, I'm going to have to start from a previous save. And I don't know when it saved last, because I don't know when I saved last. And I don't have to drive through this whole thing again. Rude. But I managed to mash the buttons, and with the jet and the propellers and stuff, and I managed to flip it back over somehow, thank God. And then I immediately saved so that if it happened again, I wouldn't have to do everything again. But yeah, the Mako is garbage. But I did not mind when it crashed at the end. Spoiler alert for a 15-year-old game. Yeah, I very much enjoyed it, but I did not immediately segue into Mass Effect 2 because I have pre-ordered Season, and I'm very much looking forward to that. So I didn't want to be in the middle of Mass Effect 2 and have to like interrupt that and then come back to it later, or be close to the end and feel like I have to rush through before Season comes out. So what I instead decided to do, I also have been wanting to put a little time in between 1, 2, and 3, so I'm not going from one into the other, just to keep some variety going in my gaming. So instead, what I decided to do was pop Ace Attorney Chronicles back into my Switch, because the Ace Attorney Chronicles on the Switch is actually a collection of 2 great Ace Attorney games, and I had done the first one. And then after I finished that, I said, well, let me go play something else, and I'll come back at some point and play the second one. So I never did. So I was like, you know what, let me go back in and play Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2, which is the second half. And it's perfect because it's like, it's all divvied up into the different cases and stuff. So if I'm in the, if I've just finished one, then I can go play Season, and then I can come back and like wrap it up. Or maybe I'll be able to finish it before Season comes out. Who knows? We will see. I'm going to try. No promises, because I do often get distracted. So come back next episode and see how I'm doing. Bye!